Hey guys, Caleb Gumbo here, the author of Inheritors of Power, and I thought I'd try doing something a little bit different. As you can see, I'm writing. I'm writing. So I thought that I might try recording some of my writings just as a. This is me literally kind of in my first phase, just kind of writing, narrating you guys through what's going on. As you can see here, what I'm currently writing is Inheritors of Power Volume 4. Initially, I wasn't planning on actually writing this, doing a video of me writing this series, because obviously this is Volume 4. Anything I write here would have massive spoilers for Volume 1, 2, and 3. But because these interludes aren't necessarily most of the interludes aren't important specifically to this story, but focuses specifically on setting up something for the next story. I figured I could actually write that instead. So, not necessarily for the next story. So, just to kind of give you a bit of idea where my head's at. So essentially, I want Volume 4 to be the kind of end of the Death God arc. The arc that started with Cal Knights becoming the God of Death, as we saw happen in Book 1. I want Volume 4 to be the end of this arc, but I want this interlude to set up the next arc, which would be the Sky and Sea God arc. Hey guys, this is post-production Caleb Gumbo back to talk to you. Initially, this video was too damn long, so I have decided to cut it short. So this is the first 30 minutes of me writing this chapter. The next video is going to be the next 30 minutes. The next video will be the next 30 minutes. Pretty sure that makes sense, so yeah. And so we already kind of teased this in Volume 3, where we saw Oliver Scott in Volume 3, who, if you guys are paying attention, you would know that he is the next person to take over for Zeus when Zeus eventually, inevitably dies, or whatever ends up happening to him. You guys know that the gods are all dying anyway in this series, so that's not really a spoiler. But when we know that Oliver Scott will be one of the upcoming characters in the next arc, will be kind of super important. This isn't to say that we're going to stop focusing on Cal Knights and Amanda Evergreen from the first arc. No. These guys all still live on the same world, and although their arc will be completed in this book, that doesn't mean their stories will be over. So this interlude will kind of serve as just a little tease to what's kind of going to happen in the next book. Right now, I'm also flying by the seat of my pants. I'm not going to lie. Right, I've got some vague inclinations of an idea that will happen for this interlude. Actually, let me just do this first. Let's hit us with that and hit us with heading 2. Oliver Scott. There we go. So, this one focuses. This interlude chapter will focus on Oliver. We're gonna just kind of write through it right now. As you guys can see, I'm writing through Atticus. Atticus is currently my preferred writing and story formatting software. Also, for those of you curious, here's a little tease at like some of the chapter names for Inheritors of Power Volume 4, right? Gift of the gods of us, everything, doting mother figure, absentee mother figure, imperfect end to a perfect day, secrets on earth, etc., etc. Just because I know your eyes are probably going to wander there at some point just to figure out what juicy secrets are hidden in those chapter titles. There you go. Those are the chapter titles. You now know them. Does it really matter? Not really. Anyway, this is a lot of preamble. As I said, we're gonna just kind of figure out like what the plan is for this story, and we're just gonna we're just gonna. I've got some vague ideas just kind of floating around in my head, and we're just going to kind of write them down, write them onto the page, just kind of figure out where Ollie's at, what path his story's going to take him, and yeah. I want to do this for a bunch of different IPs that I'm working on. Not only Inheritors of Power, because there's a limit to what I can show you guys in Inheritors of Power, but I want to be able to do this for at least a few different stories that I'm currently working on, especially because those ones are brand new. So there wouldn't be anything major to spoil if I do it properly. So yeah, I guess let's kind of just get into this chapter. And now I just got to kind of figure out where it begins. So, for those of you who are aware, Kyoko Narukami is a character who was who was introduced in Inheritors of Power Volume 3. She was actually I should just let me actually open up like the volume 3 chapter on my other monitor, just so I can just like double check my information. Okay, so I'm back. It occurs to me that I may have misspelled her name. There we go. That is the correct spelling, because I am a fool. I do not have, for some reason, my Grammarly is no longer working with this, so you're probably going to see spelling errors while I write this. Here's the thing, guys. I'm a writer, not a speller. Spelling mistakes and grammatical errors will be fixed in the future. So I apologize going forth. But yeah. These are... Okay, let me just add to dictionary here, because that is going to be annoying very soon. But yeah, so Kyoko Narukami was a character introduced in Volume 3. She was specifically introduced in the bonus chapter for... in Oliver's bonus chapter, The Silver Skyfaring Hero. And she's a character who I will want to have a want her to have a presence in the third book, right? The third book, in the second arc. Bloody hell! Third book's already released, Caleb. I need to stop making these mistakes. Anyway, she's a character who I want to have a relevance in the Sky arc. I'm pretty sure you guys already noticed the surname Narukami. If you played Persona, you probably know where I got that name from. And you've probably, if you're as smart as I think you are, my dear reader / watcher, you probably figured out why her name is Narukami. If not, oh well, there's a mystery there that you can try to figure out. It's not really that deep, honestly. Genuinely, read Volume 3. It explains it it explains it clearly. Yeah, so I do that a lot. While I'm writing, I will write a sentence, realize I don't like how that sentence sounds, and then immediately delete it. Yeah, it's a thing with me. Also, If anyone's been paying attention to Inheritors of Power, you guys would understand that there's an importance to this name. And you guys remember that there's an importance to this name. And I feel like I'm rambling. I've never done this before, right? This is odd to me. Anyway, we continue. I just have to focus on finding her first. Also, so something that you guys will kind of notice, right? Inheritors of Power has been written, for the most part, in first person. The only times it wasn't were in those bonus chapters at the end of Volume 3. So obviously this one is now written in third person. And there's a reason for that. I kind of want to, in the second arc, move to a third-person perspective as opposed to a first-person perspective, just because I'm going to be jumping between different perspectives quite a few times, so it won't really do as well to just be rooted in first-person perspective. And hell, in this book, I alternate between Cal Knights and Amanda Evergreen like so many goddamn times. That's the thing. That's the whole thing. Yeah, see, me and spelling mistakes, they happen quite frequently, as I said. So also, just for context for anyone just wondering. So, as I mentioned before, Oliver Scott is a person who's going to inherit Zeus's power, right? Just as a reminder, for anyone who hasn't read Inheritors of Power yet, Inheritors of Power is a series where the Greek gods are dying and humans are being forced to take over as the new gods to maintain the balance of power in the universe or whatever. It starts with the death of Hades and sees Kalusha James Knights, or Cal Knights, becoming the new god of the underworld and the new god of death, regardless of whether he wants to or not, which he really doesn't. And throughout the books, we've been encountering other characters who are going to inherit the positions of the other gods. For example, Cal's siblings, Summer Knights and Tucker Knights, are both, but Knights with a K-N-I. It's like knight is in suit of armor, not knight is in nighttime. Just to, like, yeah, her name isn't Summer Knights. Like, it's not. There's no Midsummer Night's Dream happening. Yeah, just making sure you'll understand. Yeah, Cal's siblings are said to inherit Ares and Hermes respectively. We've also heard about Jade Xiaolong, who's going to inherit the power of Poseidon, and Oliver Scott is going to inherit the power of Zeus, and a few other characters here and there who are set to inherit divine abilities from the different gods. Most of these guys are in their early 20s. Cal Knight's being the oldest at 22. Oliver is the same age as him, just like I believe 10 months younger. I could be wrong. I haven't checked my official timeline in a few days, but he should be around 10 months or so younger than Cal. Jade is just a year younger, born in March. Tucker also a year younger. I have both green eyes in the same age. Bloody hell. Doesn't matter. The little thing about me, I like using color. It's specifically the primary colors of light. So red, blue, and green. Not red, blue, and yellow. Yellow is not a primary color scientifically. So yeah, red, blue, and green. So Cal Knights has red eyes. Oliver Scott has blue eyes. Jade Xiaolong has green eyes. And then you kind of get little mixes of that kind of built in. Why am I explaining this? I like to ramble a lot. Like this is my writing process, guys. This is a externalization of what goes on in my brain, kind of. If you hear me acting out the scenes before I write them down, I'm not crazy. This is just how I do it, right? Once again, this is really me kind of flying by the seat of my pants a little bit. I've got some ideas that are vaguely in place that I'm kind of working on here and bringing them to life. This is first draft word vomit onto a page. We'll see how much of it ends up sticking around. Yeah. What was the name of the school that they went to? Hold on. Then I suppose it's not really that important. I could just say like to attend school. But sometimes I like to remind the audience. Horizon International High School of London. Yes. I wasn't supposed to. So, another thing, Oliver Scott used to hear a voice in the wind that would have been shown in the bonus chapter in one of the 3 bonus chapters of Volume 3. Yes, Volume 3 had 3 bonus chapters, guys, because I'm just like that. Oh, by the way, so Volume 4 is actually looking to be the longest book in the Inheritors of Power series. It's gonna be... Okay, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be dummy thick, right? it's gonna be thicker than every other book, but not dummy thick. It's gonna be bigger than the rest, especially because I decided to combine 2 books into one for this book. And yeah, although just to kind of let you guys know something, when I'm kind of done with this this book, I'm going to try and take a bit of a break from Inheritors of Power for maybe 2 or 3 years, focus on other IP, and then we come back swinging with the Sky and Wind saga. Sky and Wind. What? Sky and Sea, Sea and Sky, whatever arc I'm gonna call it. Yeah, you get the idea. We're gonna try and come back swinging with that. And yeah. Wait, that doesn't make sense. She always had a mysterious air around her and always kept her distance from Oliver, while also speaking to him on occasion. I need to juice that up a little bit more. Like, I want to give the vibe that she is keeping her distance from him for a reason he doesn't know. But, or do I want that actually? Here's the thing: I've already established that they kind of traveled in different social circles, and they didn't really interact much. So how do I do that? I'm kind of deciding here, because she, Narukami. How do we kind of handle this social standing with Oliver? Do we encourage a distance? No. It doesn't make sense for her to encourage a distance, for me to encourage a distance, because she had theories, but hold on. And I need to actually go cross-reference what I've already written in Volume 3 in this bonus chapter, because I need to see what I read. Good job, Skyboy, she muttered as she put on her headphones. Thanks to you, I know who my deadbeat dad is. What were her first words in this chapter? Yes, I am cross-referencing my own book. Like, guys, like, you don't understand. I know my characters, but I don't know my characters, right? I always have to kind of be aware of just how knowledgeable I make them. And Kyoka is definitely someone who's aware of the strangeness of Oliver, but Do I want to go the snobbish rich girl angle? Would Oliver think of her as a snobbish rich girl? Like Ollie, like would Ollie really do that? No, he wouldn't. Hold on, wait. English has a capital E. Okay, now well, we're going back to the snobbish thing. Now, despite her initial reserved nature, turned out to be quite the socialite after a while of being at the school. Despite her initial reserved nature, she turned out to be quite the socialite after. She just which gender should we go today? Jean-Marc or Jean-Marie? Well, okay, technically this is memory speech, so it doesn't matter. It just depends on like what Oliver knows them as for the most part. So in which case we go Jean-Marc. I like Oliver and likely interacted more Jean-Marc than Jean-Marie. For context, I'm assuming you guys are confused. Jean-Marc / Jean-Marie Cordell, also introduced in Volume 1, is a character who's said to inherit Apollo's power. They are gender fluid, but when you have superpowers, gender fluid means that your gender physically changes because like shape-shifting and stuff like that. God level things. Initially, this is actually a funny story, right? Initially, Jean-Marie Cordell was supposed to just be like a male character, right? She was initially just always going to be like a male dude who had beef with Oliver Scott and was a who could see the future type thing. Power of prophecy vibes. But then I just had, you can blame Persona 5 for this. You can absolutely blame Persona 5 for this. I just had this feeling of her first encounter with Cal Knights and Amanda Evergreen, where I was like, oh, she's a female fortune teller in France. She has to be a woman. I was like, and then she just ended up being a woman. But then I was like, wait, hold on, but I'm still married to the male identity of her that I had. So I was like, but I don't want to just give that identity up, and I don't want her to be. But I also want to maintain them, the female identity and the male identity, and I want to maintain them both at the same thing. So part of me was thinking, oh, maybe I do twins, Artemis and Apollo. Maybe instead of there being one god of the sun, there's now two. Well, one inheritor of the sun. There are two inheritors of the sun, or specifically prophecy. But then I was like, nah, that's boring. That's stupid. That's expected. So I kept them as one person and made them gender fluid, right? So literally, as the series has gone on, over their appearances in the books, like at first she's a she, then he's a he, then it's like literally the gender alternates depending on what I'm feeling when I'm writing it, and also what they're feeling on the day. So yeah, like that's kind of a little tidbit about Jean-Marie Cordell / Jean-Marc Cordell.